Vaknar oil, shouts Finar enthusiastically. Nothing like it for keeping warm and dry. He pulls his hand from the dead beast and offers you a fistful of putrid jelly. Hey, what about the unconscious guy over here? We're not going to tend to his wounds or see if he's alive? No? Okay, let's just cover ourselves in petrol oil. Why not? Sure, I'll take the offer. The smell is revolting, and you try desperately to hold your breath as you smear handfuls of slimy grease inside your jacket. As the oil penetrates your skin, you feel a warm glow as if you were near a fire, and the more grease you apply, the warmer you become. You also notice that the awful smell is gradually fading. There's a footnote. You may wish to note the fact that you have put on this oil your action chart, however, it does not take its space as any item. Okay, I think we'll remember that I put the oil on. When it soaks through your skin, you lose your sense of smell, says Fëanor. Just as well, replies Dice. I don't think I could stand living with myself otherwise. Vaknar oil gives excellent insulation from the bitter cold of Kalte and may save you valuable endurance points in the near future. Irian regains consciousness. Oh, thank God. We still do have a teammate over here, huh? And is soon scooping out Vaknar carcass for himself. Light is now fading fast, and you decide to pitch camp on a narrow pass. You prepare a meal, and then you each take it in turns to sit and watch, just in case the Vaknar decide to return. You know, maybe I didn't do so bad on the random number table. Did certainly look that way at first. The next morning arrives bright and windless. The sun pierces the thin layer of cloud, bathing the east in a soft pink glow. This beautiful vision reminds you that your Kai masters once told you that the light of Kalte is unlike anywhere else in Magnamund. With tent and equipment packed, you leave the pass and venture out onto the Horad Basin. 100 miles of open ice now lie between you and Storm Giant Pass. At first, this journey is easy. The basin has been worn smooth by the wind, and no crevices lurk unseen beneath the hard, dense snow. But as you draw on the third day, events take a turn for the worse. You are awoken from a deep sleep by Dice shaking your shoulder. He is frightened. What's wrong, you ask, still bleary-eyed and sleepy. Ice barbarians, on the horizon. 20, maybe more. 5 wind sledges and a warrior escort. I think they've seen us. In an instant, you have all climbed out of your sleeping furs and begun to pack away the tent. Dice is correct. There are ice barbarians, and they are heading towards you from the west. If they catch us, we're as good as dead, says Fëanor, as he ties the last of the equipment on the sledge. The ice barbarians of Kalte are a fierce and warlike race of nomads. For thousands of years, they have traveled this icy wasteland, trapping furs and herding mammoths. Their only contact with the rest of Magnamund is through the trading post of Lajuk. In summer, when the coast of Lajuk is free from ice, they journey there to trade furs for weapons and tools, as there is no iron or wood in Kalte. They hate all except their own kind, and kill anyone they find who dares trespass in their icy domain. You soon hear their war cries less than 3 miles distant, and for the first time since you landed, you pray for a blizzard to hide your escape. Oh, this is good. You have covered less than a mile when the first of the ice barbarian scouts appear to the north on skis. At first, there are only 2 of the fearsome warriors, but they are soon joined by 3 others. They are large, muscular, and bedecked with furs. Some of them wear bone armor. Despite their size, they glide across the snow with an almost feline grace and speed. Each of them has a pole attached to his back, from which a small flag flutters. Suddenly, a bone-tipped arrow whistles past your knee and embeds itself in the sledge. An ice barbarian scout skis past to your right. He is less than 10 yards away, and you can clearly see his slanted eyes and sharp cheekbones. You suddenly realize that what you had mistaken for muscle and fur is in fact an ice barbarian child. Each scout is carrying a large backpack containing a small child. These children are armed with small boned bows, and they fire a constant stream of arrows as their fathers ski nearer and nearer. Oh, well, that's lovely entertainment for your children. And we have a picture of the ice barbarians, and they look very not friendly. Suddenly, Irian falls, an arrow buried in his back. Poor Irian, he always gets the brunt of everything. Dice runs to his aid, but is shot down before he has even taken a dozen steps. Okay, well, at least everyone's getting the short end of the stick this time. Frenner is hit. An arrow passes straight through his throat. He bravely staggers for nearly a minute before collapsing in the snow. You are on your own. An ice barbarian scout skis past to your left and returns towards you head on. He has a spear under one arm and is leveled at your chest. If you wish to fight the ice barbarian scout, yeah, I think I'm gonna fight. I think I'm rather pissed at the moment because I just lost 3 of my friends, you know, or guides. Yeah, let's do this. By the way, I had done what, at least 1 or 2. Let's say 2 numbered sections. So my endurance should be back up to 26. Alright, the Ice Barbarian Scout is on skis. You will only be able to fight for 1 round of combat before the momentum of his attack carries him past you. If you sustain a higher endurance point loss than the enemy, if the Ice Barbarian Scout loses more endurance points, if he loses exactly the same number. Okay. Alright then. Let's do this. Let's do this! Combat! Where's combat? Battle! Alright, we both have a combat skill of 20. Wow, these are some tough guys. Huh? Endurance of 28. Let's do this. Alright, so he has 28, I have 26. I lose 22, he loses 24. So we both lost the same amount of endurance. Oh, that's fantastic. Alright, so we lose exactly the same number of endurance points. So we go to page 337. The scout flashes past and stops less than 20 feet away. With a well-practiced action, he removes his skis in an instant and draws a vicious-looking bone sword. You must prepare for combat! Alright, as the Ice Barbarian moves closer, he suddenly lets out a blood-curdling scream and lunges at your head! Okay, let's keep doing this. Let's keep going. So he's down to 18 now. I guess the momentum gave him some combat points. And his endurance is back up to 28. How does that work exactly? Well, whatever. Alright, and let's do this. I'm pissed. You just killed my friends. Alright, I'm down to 20. He's down to 19. I got a pretty good hit there. I'm down to 17. He's down to 13. I didn't lose any. He's down to 2. Another really good hit on my part. And I'm down to 14. He's dead. Gosh, I'm down to 14. That's not good. I'm at like half health right now, and I just started this adventure. Alright. The dead Ice Barbarian's child cowers over his father's body and stares at you with hatred blazing in his eyes. Oh, well, tough luck, kid. Should have chosen a stronger dad. Alright, you notice that the other Ice Barbarian scouts are closing in. You must act quickly to save yourself. You decide to use this boy as a hostage, but he is like a wild animal. He bites and scratches and kicks to free himself from your grip. I'm not really going to restore endurance points on this because I know it says for every numbered section, but really, at what point in time am I going to be able to heal myself here? You manage to hang on to the struggling child and remove a bone dagger from his boot to prevent him from stabbing you in the back. The Ice Barbarians have drawn themselves up in a circle around you, but they dare not attack while you're holding one of their children as a hostage. Oh, wow. Lone Wolf, the Great Kai Lord, reduced to kidnapping. Holding the bone dagger to the child's throat, you slowly inch your way towards the sledge. You soon realize that you will never be able to outdistance them on the loaded sledge. You will have to think of something, and quickly. Fly! You can't do that? Oh, never mind then. If you wish to cut the equipment loose, free the Ice Barbarian child and escape on the sledge, or if you wish to cut the equipment loose but keep the boy hostage, yeah, I'm gonna flee on the sledge. I really don't think keeping the boy with me is going to be a good idea. I don't know, there's just too much room for something to go wrong there. Letting the boy go free at the last possible moment, you grab the sledge whip and lash the dogs, driving them from everything for everything they are worth. On all sides, flurries of arrows whistle past you, and several thud into the framework of the empty sledge. A couple of Ice Barbarian scouts give chase, but your dog team is now much faster, and you soon outdistance even their arrows. By nightfall, you reach the very edge of the Vad Mountains. This vast granite range rises sheer out of this ice and snow, and presents you with an impassable barrier on such a moonless night. Meanwhile, the wind arises in the west, heralding a night squall. You must find shelter or you will surely perish in the blizzard. If you have the Kai discipline of either tracking or sixth sense, I have sixth sense, so let's do that. Your Kai discipline reveals to you that there are a network of caves less than a couple of 100 yards to the south. You abandon the sledge and search southwards. You have explored only 100 yards on the rock face when you discover a large fissure, the entrance to a cave. In your eagerness to escape from the bitter wind, you quickly enter, and in the darkness you fail to notice the crevice that divides this cave into two. In a tumble of ice and snow, you fall headfirst in the dark. Fantastic! Click on the number section, please. You fall over 30 feet and land flat on your back in the snow-filled crevice. You are surrounded by sharp stalagmites and jagged ice, but you have miraculously escaped death and injury. Oh, thank God. Yeah, good thing I didn't have to roll a random number table, because I would have failed that miserably. Shaken, but thankful to be alive, you stagger to your feet and grasp a crystal stalagmite for support. You slowly become aware that you can see your hands quite clearly. A faint light is seeping from the fissure to your left. With curiosity getting the better of your natural caution, you stagger across the crevice floor and explore this mysterious cave. After a few hundred yards, you find yourself in a huge cavern that spreads out in all directions as far as the eye can see. You have entered the Caverns of Kalte and are now looking at an uncharted world that few Summerlotting have ever seen. This massive underground labyrinth was constructed by the ancients many ages before the Summerlotting set foot in Magnamund. Its wide avenues, temples, and arenas once echoed to the sound of a race of creatures for whom the ice was a natural home. Malar bowls still hang from the ceiling, bathing the caverns in their eternal light. You trek steadily northwards for nearly 6 hours, until you arrive at the bank of a fast-flowing meltwater river. On the opposite bank, you see a tunnel leading off into the distance. You can find no apparent way of crossing the deep water, except by using the ice floes bobbing up and down on the surface. By jumping from one floe to the next, you could get to the opposite bank, but it will not be easy. You will have to jump at least 3 of the icy slabs to reach the other side. Pick a number from the random number table. If you have the Kai discipline of hunting, you may add 2 to the number you have picked. If your current endurance points is a total of, or is less than 8, alright, subtract 2. So I get to add, okay, I get to add 2. I get to add 2 to whatever number I choose. A 5, so I 7. Alright, if your score is 4 through 11. Yay! Success! Running for the tunnel entrance, you quickly leave the icy river far behind. You follow the tunnel for countless hours as it bends its way northwards. It becomes impossible to recall what hour of day it is. The perpetual half-light of these caverns never changes. Through fissures in the wall of the tunnel, you catch glimpses of other chambers, and you marvel at the sheer scale of the labyrinth. You are nearly asleep on your feet when you suddenly detect the aroma of cooked meat. It's coming from a chamber just a few yards ahead to your right. You are very hungry and must soon eat a meal. Alright, hang on, let me think. Hang on. Okay, we've passed 6 numbered sections since, I was in combat. So we are now back up to 20 endurance points. I'm doing this because I might be in for a fight. You see how amazingly useful healing is? Alright, I wish to investigate the chamber, because I have no food. You can see 2 men in ragged clothes huddled together beside a fire that seems to be burning inside a small metal bowl. Over the flames, the skinned carcass of a small animal is roasting on a spit. The men are old and toothless, and they have a strange glint of madness in their slanted eyes. Okay. Madness is always fun. If you wish to approach them and ask for some food, if you wish to attack them... crap. Well, I think approaching them is a very bad thing to do. Attacking them, survival of the fittest. Let's do the honorable thing. Let's approach them and ask for food. As stupid as it is, let's do it. On seeing you enter, the 2 men jump to their feet and flee from the chamber along a smaller passageway. Their screams of panic echoed loudly through the caverns. Well, whatever. That works. They might have just lured everyone to my presence, but at least I'll get to eat. You are very hungry and quickly consume the cooked animal, pausing only to spit out the bones. You then notice that the fire is burning in a strange, half-spherical metal bowl. The other half of the sphere lies on the icy floor nearby, and you find that both halves fit together perfectly. When you open it, you discover that the fire still burns inside. If you wish to keep this fire sphere, place it inside your jacket and mark it on your action chart as a special item. Which I do want to keep because this little fire sphere will be useful even in later books. So we are going to have fire sphere. Hey, hey, hey! Give me. There we go. Fire sphere. Or we don't really need to mark what it does. It's a sphere of fire. I think we all understand. Alright, unless you have just eaten a meal, you lose 3 endurance points from your hunger. Alright, let's see, you continue along the tunnel for over a mile, but you soon become tired and stop to sleep. You awake feeling refreshed, but you have no idea just how long you have been sleeping. The light of the caverns never changes, be it day or night. You continue onwards, mile after mile, passing through a series of huge ice halls containing towering pillars of crystal. In one vast chamber, you are mesmerized by the beautiful sight of a shimmering crystal ceiling. But beyond this chamber lies an even greater spectacle. A narrow passage leads on to a ledge running around the brink of a huge chasm, over half a mile wide. As you edge your way around this awesome void, you try not to look down into the windswept depths many miles below. You have been on the ledge for only a few minutes when a noise behind you makes you glance back. To your horror, you see Justin Bieber coming up behind you. No, okay, you see you are being followed by a monstrous two-headed serpent. Okay, so I was right. Either way, it's just 2 different names for the same thing, honestly. Alright, if you have the Kai discipline of either tracking or animal kinship. I do. I have animal kinship. Look at that. Alright. You recognize the serpent to be a Javik, a 2-headed and deadly poisonous ice snake. As it slithers nearer, you can clearly see the open jaw of the second head and the yellow curved fangs dripping with venom. It moves very quickly, and you know that you will not be able to outrun it along this narrow ledge. If you possess a fire sphere, I do! See, look at that. You remove this fire sphere from your jacket, quickly split open the 2 halves and place them upon the narrow ledge behind. The Javik hisses loudly, both its heads weaving and darting in at you at rage. It is desperate to attack, but it will not approach the fire sphere. Instead, it attempts to slither around the flames, but the ledge is very narrow, no more than a foot wide. It cannot pass without singeing itself. Eventually, angry but powerless, the strange reptile resigns itself to failure and disappears back along the ledge and into the passageway below. You can now retrieve the fire sphere and continue. Apparently, Justin Bieber hates fire. Okay. You reach a tunnel on the far side of the chasm and follow it for many miles. You eventually arrive at an enormous chamber, the ceiling of which towers 500 feet above you. An icy wind blowing through many fissures that crack the ceiling whips around the hall. If you wish to search for a way of climbing up and out through the fissures, or if you wish to press on and look for an exit on the far side of the hall. I'm going to just press on. I don't like the idea of climbing up an ice wall when I could just keep on going. I mean, heck, these caverns might take me all the way where I need to go. By the way, I have done, what, four numbered sections now. I'm just keeping a track of my healing. Why don't I just go ahead and bust that in there right there. Alright. You discover a low passage that opens out into the cavern full of stalagmites. There are 2 exits in the opposite wall, both disappear into darkness. In the snow around the entrances of both tunnels are many strange tracks. I don't have the skill of tracking, so I'm going to do 0 through 4 is the right tunnel, 5 through 9 is the left tunnel. Alright, right tunnel, we're going right. You have covered less than 50 yards when you arrive at another cavern. Lying upon a raised dais of ice in the center of the frozen chamber is a Baknar, a fierce and carnivorous ice creature. It seems to be sound asleep and the remains of an animal lie scattered around the slab. In the far wall of the chamber lies another tunnel. If you possess the Kai discipline of hunting, I do have the Kai discipline of hunting. Baknar are known to sleep for up to 3 days after a feast. By the number of freshly stripped bones littering the chamber, this Baknar is likely to be asleep for many hours. You slip past the snoring creature and leave the chamber. Yay! After a short walk, you arrive at a massive ice hall full of crystal stalagmites and stalactites. The floor is covered with animal tracks and bones, yet a vast hall seems empty and still. You notice that the northern wall is a completely smooth surface of granite blocks stretching upwards to the icy ceiling, over 100 feet above. You suddenly realize that you are staring at the foundation stones of Ikaya, and you have reached the ice fortress. See, I told you it could take me all the way there. Partially obscured by a large amount of crystals, you can just make out a ramp leading up to a massive stone door in the fortress wall. Your discovery brings renewed hope. If you can gain entry to Ikaya and quickly capture Vonatar, there is still time to reach your ship, the Cordonal, before the pack ice starts to freeze. If you wish to cross the icy hall and examine the stone door, if you decide to stop and search the bone-littered floor. Sure, why not? Let's randomly search the floor. You discover that many of the bones scattered among the stalagmites are of human origin. Shattered skulls, skeletal hands, and rib cages lie half buried in the ice. You are about to abandon your search when a small box made of carved bone catches your eye. If you wish to open this box, sure. Let's open the box. Oh, crap. How many have I done? I've done another 4? Yeah, 4 numbered sections. The bone box contains a beautiful diamond. Its many facets gleam and sparkle, even in the dim half-light of the ice hall. In Summerland, a jewel of this size would be worth thousands of crowns. If you wish to keep the diamond, slip it in your pocket and mark it on your action chart as a special item. Ugh. Okay, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. But we have lots of gold, and in my experience in the Lone Wolf Saga, if you see a pretty-looking gem, it's generally bad news, so I am not going to keep this gem. I might be mistaken because it's been forever since I've read these, but like I said, 9 times out of 10 it turns out to be the source of all evil. Alright, so let's keep on going. As you climb the slippery stone ramp, the sound of cracking ice makes you spin around. The large amount of crystals at the base of the ramp is beginning to move. The crystals are alive! You stare at disbelief as the mound transforms into a writhing mass of crystal coils. The coils unwind and the ice creature slithers towards you. Alright, so we have... This is 6 numbered sections, so we're back up to 30. Almost to a max, people. We almost healed from half death. That's fantastic. If you wish to evade this creature and run towards the stone door, if you wish to fight it, evade, fight, evade, fight. Yeah, let's evade. Why would we fight it when we don't have to? Let's run towards the door, huh? The last ice snake we faced was pretty deadly, so, you know, venomous and stuff. As you reach the massive door, you desperately cast your eyes over it in hope of discovering a way to make it open. The door is completely smooth. There is no handle, lock, or keyhole. The creature will soon reach the top of the ramp, and you are about to cry out in desperation when you notice a block of granite set into the nearby wall, with a small triangle cut into the surface. If you possess a blue stone triangle... Oh, I don't. I don't have the blue stone triangle. I believe you get the blue stone triangle from those crazy guys if you actually fought and killed them, which I didn't, because I'm an idiot. So I don't. Looks like I got to fight. This strange creature is a crystal frostworm, a scavenging beast now living on the remains of the unfortunate creatures who have entered the cavern. Its hard skin is almost transparent, and its internal organs can be seen pulsating inside. A large mouth opens in the crystalline head to reveal rows upon rows of jagged crystal teeth behind a crystal skull, with crystal whiskers and crystal jowls. I mean, really? I think we get the point. It's made out of crystal. Your back is pressed to the stone door, and there is no way to evade the monster that is made of crystal. You must fight the crystal creature to death. It is immune to mind blasts because it's crystal. Alright, oh, that's not that bad. Let's Combat skill of 15, endurance of 30. Let's get it on. Combat skill 15, endurance 30. Let's do this. It's down to 16. I've taken no damage. Damn, that was a good hit. I'm down to 28. It's down to 7. It's dead, and I'm down to 26. Very nice. Let's go to 3. Alright, you watch with a mixture of fascination and revulsion as each segment of the creature shatters and then slowly dissolves into the ice. Soon, all that remains of the crystal frostworm are the undigested contents of its crystal stomach. I know, I keep adding that word because they seem to think it's important. To your surprise, in the center of the mass of fetid crystal flesh and bone, you can see the shank of a silver key. If you wish to take this key... Yes, of course I wish to take the key. Oh, man. The key is coated in corrosive digestive acid and burns through your mittens and attacks your fingers. Oops. Lose 1 endurance point. You drop the key and plunge your hand in the snow to ease the pain. If you still wish to keep the key, you can wipe it on the snow before placing it in your pocket, but remember to mark it on your action chart. Alright, since I would have gotten an endurance point for this number section anyway, I'm just going to keep things as they are. And you may notice I don't mark everything on the action chart because it's pretty easy to remember that we have a key with us. So, yeah.